Hey everyone, Jake here for American Trucks, and in this video we're taking a look at and installing the Bilstein 1 to 1.5 inch B12 special rear lift coil springs fitting 2019 to 2024 Ram 1500s without air ride, also excluding Rebel and TRX models. Now we talk a lot about front end lift and leveling kits around these parts, but if you're looking to get the rear of your truck lifted up as well, then this lifted coil spring setup from Bilstein might just be what you're after. This is an easy way to get some additional height on your truck without compromising on ride quality or performance. Ram trucks are unique in that they don't utilize the traditional leaf spring setup in the rear like most other pickups. Instead, they feature a coil spring suspension design, which is what accounts for their superior ride quality. It's one of the reasons that many owners gravitate towards these trucks in the first place. So if you're lifting your truck a little bit, number one, the typical lift block is not going to work here. And number two, you don't want to ruin that excellent ride quality. Enter the B12 rear lift coil springs. Now these are bolt-on replacements for your stock rear springs that bring 1 to 1.5 inches of additional height to the rear end of your truck. Even though this is only lifting the rear end of the truck, you can still fit 33-inch tires on there without issues. But again, since you aren't lifting the front any larger than that, and you're going to run into some issues with clearance, so for this kit, we recommend sticking with 33-inch tires. Now exactly how much lift you get will depend on your truck, your bed length options, etc. But you're going to get between 1 and 1.5 inches of overall lift. However, these do more than just add some additional height. As the eagle-eyed among you might have noticed, these are not your typical coil springs. So these are what we call progressive springs. Now you might have noticed that the coils are more widely spaced down here on the bottom, and they get a bit tighter as you go up toward the top. Now that's because these effectively have two different spring rates built in, as opposed to your typical spring that's just one single rate all the way through. So these are gonna be a little bit soft, more like your stock spring initially. So as you maneuver around a parking lot or hit a bump out on the road, they're initially gonna move and react similarly to your stock setup. However, when they get loaded up, say going around a corner or under heavy loads, they're going to be a bit stiffer than your stock springs, so you'll have more control over your truck. It's really a best of both worlds kind of setup. You maintain that excellent ride quality that Rams are known for, even with the additional height, and you get more control and thus better performance and response out of your truck. And as you might expect from a suspension giant like Bilstein, these are quite high quality items. They're made from high tensile strength steel and they're pretty thick, and that stuff is the standard for vehicle springs. But these are also finished off with a nice gloss black powder coat for additional corrosion and rust protection. You've got some isolators on here as well to keep everything nice and quiet and performing properly. Overall, this is a very nice finish. It's a nice setup for a spring. It looks and feels good coming out of the box. It's unfortunate that you probably won't see it very much once it's on the truck. One other thing that's worth noting here is that Bilstein does offer a lifetime limited warranty on their products, so you do get some additional peace of mind to go with your purchase. And I can tell you from experience that Bilstein is good about honoring their warranty on their items. Just make sure you save your receipt. Now, pricing for this setup is going to come in at about $325, which actually makes them pretty affordable even as compared to some other similar products on the market. So you're getting a true premium option here without having to pay that premium price. And in my book, that is always a win. Installation is going to get a 2 out of 3, and it should take you about 2 hours to complete the job. Now these are going to swap right in place of your factory springs. No modifications are needed to your truck. So this is just going to take some time and some patience to get them installed. But good news, you do not need a spring compressor for this job, and it's definitely one you can accomplish at home if you're comfortable working with suspension parts. That said though, let's head on out to the shop and we'll walk you through the process.
For this install, you need a 3/8 impact, 21mm socket, 16mm socket, 21mm wrench, and also not shown be a lift and pull jacks. All right, today we're gonna be installing a rear lift kit on our Ram, so let's get started. All right, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our vehicle supported, get some pull jacks under the axle to support the weight, and then we just need to take out our bolt for our track bar on our driver's side. So we're gonna grab our impact and 21mm socket and take that out. All right, now we're gonna come to our rear sway bar link. We're gonna take our upper bolt out for our mount. So we're gonna grab our impact and 16mm socket and take that out. All right, now we're gonna come to our shock. We're gonna take our lower mount off. So we have our bolt here. We're gonna take a 21mm wrench and our impact and 21mm socket and take that off. All right, now you can go ahead and repeat the same thing for the shock and the sway bar link on the other side. All right, now that we have everything disconnected, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna evenly lower the rear axle so we can get our springs out. You just wanna keep an eye on your brake lines and all of your other harnesses and hoses along the axle. Just make sure you're not pulling on anything. If we need to, we'll disconnect some attach points if we need to. All right, now we got our new spring to install. Just put your top mount on the spring. What you're gonna do is put it up into the top hat first. And you're just gonna need to use some leverage or muscle just to get up in place, but you can. All right, we're gonna lift up and seat the bottom of our spring on our axle. All right, you just repeat the same thing for the spring on the other side. All right, now with both springs installed, we're gonna have our axle raised up so we line all of our shocks and sway bar links up so we can reinstall all of our hardware. All right, now we'll reinstall our bolt for our sway bar link. We'll grab our impact and 16mm socket and tighten that down. All right, and now our lower shock bolt. All right, we'll grab our impact, 21mm socket and 21mm wrench and tighten that down. All right, now you can repeat that for the shock and the sway bar link on the other side. All right, now we're gonna reinstall our bolt for our track bar. All right, we're gonna put our locking nut on the back side, grab our impact 21mm socket, tighten it down. All right, and that wraps up our install of our Bilstein 1.5 inch B12 special rear lift coil springs for our 2019 and newer four-wheel drive Ram 1500 without air ride, excluding the Rebel and TRX. And remember, for everything Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.